Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Here we are at 5:34 a.m. Central Standard Time on the Gulf Coast of the United States of America. And both of these products are sold in Louisiana fairly commonly. I say fairly. Now, I think the Dewar's illegals, well, let's go in order, chronological order. Cutty Sark, introduced in 1923, definitely sold at Winn-Dixie, Walmart, and some other stores. I see one store has it, the big old jug bottle for $22.99. True story. Crazy. Can't remember which store, but I said, wow, that'd be nice to have, but I'm not going to keep buying. I'm not going to buy anymore. It's olive green bottle, embossed on the back with a compass, which makes sense because the Cutty Sark was a clipper ship for the trade back before the steam engine. And that's the nautical theme. Glasgow, Scotland, in the Kingdom of Scotland. It's currently a Glen Turner brand. It keeps getting passed around. Like, I don't know who originally started it. It keeps getting sold off. But you know, that's how that goes sometimes. The spirit of adventure, and they go on, and no age statement. Our actions define who we are, but who we are changes all the time because we keep getting sold. All right. Since 1923, you said what prohibition was going on in 1923. Prohibition was going on in the United States, right? With that tyrannical type government that we don't have anymore, thankfully. Ha ha. All right. Ha ha ha. You're so funny, man. But the United Kingdom, the British Empire did not have, now known as the British Commonwealth, did not have prohibition. Most of it didn't. Some of it did. KJ and then C says hello to you. So that's Cutty Sark. No age statement. Here's Dewar's blended Scotch whiskey. This is the illegal smooth version. Introduced back in 2019. Age 8 years, double age. So regular Dewar's obviously is age 4 years, but I don't know if they have an age statement on that bottle. I have to go look. These are both 750 milliliter bottles. Dewar's could be about $20 a bottle. The illegal smooth. It's made by Bacardi International. That's who owns Dewar's now. Dewar's was started by John Boy, and Tommy. John. Then later, John Boy and Tommy, the three Ds. John Sr. in 1846. And the Dewar's white label came out in 1899. So they were producing Scotch, but the Dewar's own brand label came out in 1899. So then Bacardi Ltd, a family-owned company, decided to do a collaboration with Ilegal Mescal. And they finished this whiskey in mescal barrels, casks, as they call them in the Kingdom of Scotland. But they're not aged. This whiskey is not aged in mescal barrels. It's only finished. Like the last, say, I'm just guessing, like they say, well, the last 2 months we'll age it in mescal barrels. So maybe it's the last 6 months. I don't know what it is. Last year. Probably just a few months. I tried. It's not bad, but I don't know. Beer Hound says, howdy, Ronsky. Howdy to you. Howdy. So this is D for Dewar's. I had a close call last night. I did Johnny Walker Blue Label versus Dewar's. Now, on first taste, it was easy. It was like, oh, yeah, this is Johnny Walker Blue Label. Easy, easy, easy. Easy, easy, easy. But then I got scared because what happens with these things as they breathe and they, I guess you say, settle down, whatever, in the glass, and you get used to drinking it as you're sipping on it and thinking on it and drinking on it. What happens is they start to, the really good one doesn't get better, like the Johnny Walker Blue, the best blended Scotch I ever tried. Probably the best Scotch I ever tried, to tell you the truth, single malt or blended. But and I've had some good single malts, you know, like the Ardbeg 10 and everything. But they said, yeah, I know it's macro, and yeah, I don't care. One is very pale, greenish pale straw, and this is the deep gold, because it's aged 8 years, so you're going to get a lot darker color. Do they add caramel color to it? I mean, they might. I doubt that. In the Cutty Sark is so pale. It's probably only aged 4 years. It has to be at least 4 because there's no age statement, so they would have to put that thing on there if it was less than 4. So back to the thing yesterday. The really good scotches don't get better as they breathe. They're great, and they just stay great, you know, or whatever. Really, it's most excellent. I only scored it a 95. Eastbound, Kansas City Southern Railroad. Traveling from Baton Rouge on to New Orleans and points east. Yes, it is connected to Kansas City, and then it goes south. You know, so if you look at the railroad map, it's going south from Kansas City and then along the Gulf Coast. Kansas City Southern Railroad. Started in what, a long time ago. Long time ago. Now, the thing about the letting them breathe and rest in the glass, if you keep doing the taste challenge, then the cheaper one, and let's be honest, the Dewar's is not a cheap whiskey. It's a premium whiskey. About $20 a bottle. Now you say, well, in my opinion, it's cheap because I only drink whiskeys that are at least $200 to $300 a bottle. Well, that's good. So Dewar's, $20 a bottle, premium whiskey, a la Jack Daniels and so forth. But they'll improve. You see, they'll start to battle. So at the first sip, it's a blowout. Like I said yesterday, 55 to 3 is a joke. But then it'll build. It'll build. And I was using an extreme example, the Four Loko Green Apple. You say, well, that's pretty extreme. Yes, I know. It's a cheap, sugar-filled, 14% alcohol flavored malt beverage, or in other words, flavored beer-based product. An atrocity of mankind, an insult to everything that beer stands for, and all of that. And when you first taste it, you just can't believe it. But then you start to admire them. You admire their gall, the gall to put this on the market. And then you're like Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now, and you're saying to yourself about fusion projects, the strength to do that. So what I noticed about the Four Loko, as it rests, as it settles, as you drink on it whilst thinking on it, then you can see behind the atrocities. And it does start to have a beer flavor. You can, the more you drink on it, the more you say, fiddle diddle. It tastes just like regular old beer, which it does. But that's hidden under the juvenile, adolescent, sugar-coated, flim-flam nature of the product. Dewar's illegal. It's a gimmick. I get that. I understand it. I like gimmicks, so why should I care? It's aged in mezcal barrels. Is that necessary? Is that something you need? No. Why did they decide 2 years ago to make Dewar's illegal, smooth, and age it in mezcal barrels? Because it's a flooded market. You know, Okay, the liquor market is flooded. They got too many brands chasing too few people. It's like the beer market. There's too many beer brands chasing too few people, and it's a declining market in a relative decline. Compared to wine and liquor, it's going down. Wine and liquor, it's growing. Well, actually, no, I think it's a net loss the last few years. Beer, people are abandoning beer. Not like, don't get fretful and say, oh no, they're going to stop making beer in 2025. No, 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 no. I just say it's a declining market. Wine, huge. Liquor, spirits, huge and growing. No. So beer is very flooded. When the craft beer explosion happened, really starting in the mid 80s, it created a bubble. And then in 96, the bubble burst and a lot of the people went under. It crashed. But it was early on and people did not understand. You, says Burley Sullivan. KJC says it's cheap, $25. Well, see, it's all a matter of your perception. See, cheap Scotch is like $6.50 to $8. Don't say you can't get it, because I can certainly get it. I got 100 pipers. I got 100 pipers blended Scotch whiskey last year, or the year before last. Yeah, it was the year before last, I guess, 2019, at a local liquor store on the west bank of the Mississippi River for $3.98 for a regular size bottle, a regular size amount, $750, $3.98. I mean, yeah, that was an extreme sale. But then if I walk into that same store or Savannah Discount and just get their run-of-the-mill sale, I can get it for $6.50 a bottle. And not bad. Not great, but not bad. Highland Mist. Ain't nobody going to brag about Highland Mist blended Scotch. On the other hand, it will battle these other products. So $20 is not cheap. It's just normal. It's a normal. It's like Guy's Eyes. It's a normal price. A premium price is what they call premium. Premium is just your, what they mean, your standard price, your standard quality level. And these are both in that range. Now, the Cutty Sark is at the very low end of the premium range, because I've seen it around for $13.99. And like I said, it was in the paper this week, the big jug handle bottle, glass handle bottle, for $22.99. Now that's very low. For an import, you got to pay shipping costs and everything. So the Dewar's is $20. So the question today is, would the Dewar's really be a $6 better product? Dewar's Ilegal Mescal blended gimmick whiskey. Remember, flooded markets. You got to chase people with little, oh, try this. Fire and ice. Oh, try this. Winter's coming, and all of these things. You want to base it on a TV show, and you got Don Rickles, Scotch, and all this. So, well, Don Rickles, it might be like kosher wine, but you see what I'm saying? So, it's an attempt to differentiate. Now, is the Dewar's Illegal going to be a big seller? Well, no. I mean, these gimmicks, they get a little action and then they fade. The Dewar's white label is huge. It's a steady Eddie product, and it just be selling all the time. You say, but it's so bland. I know. You ever notice that most people like bland stuff? I have. They want bland food. They listen to bland music. They wear bland clothes. They live in a bland house. And they like it that way. And that's fine. Don't be mad because you're jealous of people that like bland products. Oh, golly gee. You see the Cutty Sark. You go pick up that peat. You say, what, peat's dragon? Well, no, it's like a compost. The smoked peat. But it's not really smoke. It ain't smoke. It's just the peat. You say peat is an old rotted vegetable matter that's in the ground, that they dig out of the ground, let it dry in the sun, and they burn it in a fire in Scotland to keep their houses warm. That's right. So you know what rotted vegetable matter and organic, like animals, dead rats or dead voles or dead birds over thousands of years is going to taste like? It's going to be pretty, you know, wanky, kind of like if you ever smelled a compost pile or a pigsty. Now, but that's what they got here. So I noticed the Cutty Sark, and the Cutty Sark has that dough flavor, dough re mi. So it's like bread dough. You say, where that comes from? Where that comes from? Single malt. Says right on the website. What did it say? Easy drinking blended whiskey, launched at the height of the cocktail culture. Well, the original cocktail culture. Oh, I was talking about the flooded market. And, you know, I kept telling people the craft beer market is going to crash. And they were saying, no, it's not. You just don't like craft beer. I said, I like craft beer. I can see it's a flooded market then started to crash by virtue of a lot of brands being cut, a lot of companies going out of business, getting bought out left and right. That's how that works. Did I get fretful over it? Did I care? I never cared to start with. No. Cutty Sark starts with single malts. What did I just tell you? It tastes like bread dough. Predominantly selected from Speyside. That's the mild malts, the ones that taste like bread dough. They're not smoky. These fine single malts are then blended with top quality grain whiskeys and matured in American oak casks to add greater subtlety and complexity to the flavor. Once matured, the blend is married. So they age them separately. A traditional process most distilleries no longer spend the time on, but one that Cutty Sark insists upon, meaning Glen Turner, to ensure harmonization of color and flavor in the final blend. So they do like they do that with Black Velvet in Canada. They blend the different whiskeys together, then they age them again for a specific number of months, whatever, years. Like a gumbo, all the different ingredients. If you let the gumbo sit in the fridge together for about 3 days, and then you eat it, it's going to taste better than when you first cooked it because it marries the flavors. It tastes more complete, more whole. Now, Dewar's Illegal Smooth. I'm not going to read all that because it's got, they're saying it tastes like bell peppers and honey. I said honey top bread crust and some smoke. So all I got to do is look for the smoke. Smoke in the Dewar's and the single malt, the bread dough, in the Cutty Sark. Now, does Dewar's contain single malt also? Yes, it does. What? How much of it? I don't know. They don't say. Probably about 20%. The rest is grain whiskey, which is mostly flavorless and odorless. It's just your base, In other words, your foundation, your frame, the frame. Try not to look. Drank 2 Hurricane and a stout last night. Woke up so stoned. Well, that sounds like a bad habit to get into. Not singling you out, of course, but I got a lot of viewers. Not a lot. Well, I don't know how many. I haven't done a survey. They got a lot of. I have a number of viewers that apparently have fairly serious alcohol and drug issues, meaning abusing it. You know, abusing drugs mean using it in the manner to which it was not designed, and abusing alcohol is drinking too much, problem drinking. So they are commenting on how sick they got or wasted or whatever. And I'm supposed to be impressed by that. And I say, well, you know, it's terrible. It'd be like somebody telling me, I eat junk food all day. I feel terrible. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. You ate candy all day. There is some honey. But you want to know the main taste? There is some smoke, I guess. But you know what the main flavor of this is? Yeah, I'm in the dark, but I see daylight coming through. Barely. It's supposed to be dawn busters, but to me it looks like dreary, cloudy nighttime. Honestly, what comes through mainly on this flavor is cereal grain. You say cereal grain? Yeah, you know, like a box of cereal. Old people cereal. I keep saying old people cereal. Special K, Kellogg's brand flakes, or whatever that other stuff is, brand. It's like wheat brand thing. Grape nuts. Because that stuff doesn't really have any sugar in it. So, and it's same like this. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. Now, if you drink bourbon, it's sweet like candy. If you drink bourbon, it tastes like candy because it's sweet corn, yellow corn grits. It tastes like corn syrup. I'm telling you, when you drink bourbon, it tastes like K-roll corn syrup. You know, even vanilla flavor from the barrels. The oak has a vanilla-like flavor. So I don't know. Everybody's running behind bourbon, all excited. But to me, I just like, I don't want to drink K-roll syrup. But that's me. Do I like Midori? I don't even know what that is, Burley. Dark Lotus says, pray for me, y'all. I'm getting an... I'm sorry. I'm trying to tell people all the time, don't drink too much. But they interpret it as, go crazy, y'all, go crazy. And I'm like, no, don't go crazy. I taught psychology for 14 years. We used to talk about drug abuse and alcohol abuse. But people got to do their own thing, I guess. Because people have free will. They got to exercise it correctly. That's the only problem. Compost, bread dough. It's got kind of a rough little grain alcohol bite, though, at the back end. This is from being morbidly obese. Yeah, oh, well, you know. That's what happens. I try to tell people, but they'll tell me, you don't want to have any fun. You don't want to eat a lot. You're skinny and you exercise. And I'm like, right. I know that's not cool. Unless you drink a Michelob Ultra. Anyway, harsh grain bite, and the other one is no grain bite. It's just smooth. And what's illegally smooth? The Dewar. So this is the Dewars. Which one tastes better? Well, I like that composty taste. I've been saying that since I first tried the Cutty Sark. Give me a Cutty and water. What am I? A Mirage? You got me on the pay no mind list, kid. It's a blender, though. It's a mixer. They tell you right there, a blender. They tell you right there on the website, it's made for cocktails. It's not for swishing around in the glass all hoity-toity like I'm doing, like, oh, the intricate flavors. No, it's for mixing it with something and drinking it. An ice and a cocktail or a highball, you know. All right. The illegal smooth could be done neat. They even show a photo of it neat in a glass. That means no ice, no additives, just straight, in other words. But then they immediately start talking about all the cocktails you can make. So it's $20. It's a cocktail whiskey. It's a gimmick cocktail whiskey, and that's what you're dealing with. But I do prefer it, but not by much. Only thing that differentiate it doesn't have that harsh grain bite. Beyond that, it's about the same. And but I would pay $6 more for the Dewar's. I think Dewar's illegal smooth, the mezcal finish is worth the extra $6. I wouldn't overplay that because I would buy both and I would recommend both. I would like to try the Cutty Sark Prohibition, the black label. It's 100 proof. Oh, Can you imagine what that's like? 100 proof. There are some other Cutty Sark that you can't really find on the website. Well, you cannot find them on the website, but they exist. Me and John and Ilya saw one for over $200 at World of Beverage in Georgia. I said, "Boy, wouldn't you like to try that?" He said, "Yeah, but not for $200." I said, "I'm right there with you." So Dewar's does win. The smoke is no joke. Yeah, D for Dewar. It's pretty easy. This was no kind of challenge, to tell you the truth. But it was very fun, enjoyable. Now the news is coming on. It's got a pretty label. It's one of the old standard brands from many years ago. These blended whiskeys get a lot of hate from the, the whiskey people. But most of them are just fronting. Now they'll say, I don't like blended scotches because they're just not right. That's just not right. And it's like, come on, Monroe. I know you live in that apartment and you're too close for comfort. But what you need to realize is that blended scotch been around a long time. It's not like something. It's a very terrible misperception. Like they think it's only old men drink that and all. And it's people that's full of hating haters who hate, So I admire it, and I don't hate that it's an old brand, a mainline brand. That does not scare me. That does not frighten me. That does not make me jealous. Cutty Sark, same old thing, old mainline brand. And you say that's a grandfather whiskey. Grandpas drink that. Oh well, that's why they're happy, and that's why you mad. I like Southern Comfort. Oh yeah, it's very big here. Billboards all over because Southern Comfort is owned by local people here in Louisiana. So it started in New Orleans many years ago. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm out of here going turn on the news. I'm sure there'll be a lot of good news about America and our future and all the good things happening. All right, thank you very much. Ha ha.